What's up, boys? Today we're gonna be trying out auto sit. Now, if you don't know what auto sit is, if you look bottom right of the screen right here, you can see the little red guy that's standing right now. Now, when I sit, you can see that he goes away. So I'm sitting right now. Now I'm standing, sitting, standing. Okay, I'm doing that manually. Now, auto sit, basically you leave the rider standing, and when you start to lean, the rider will sit automatically. Now, this is something that, well, really, it's just Trojan, okay? Nobody else really does this. I've seen a few, like, you know, amateurs, people in the comments, that kind of stuff, say that they run it and they really like it. But nobody really in, like, the pro scene or anything like that is running auto sit that I'm aware of, other than Troy. And I've never really given it a chance, and Troy is very, very consistent, and so maybe that's what I've been missing out on. Okay, so we're gonna do a lap here in a second where I am on my regular, and you guys, if you guys have been watching, I've been doing like this little series where I've been comparing things in MX bikes. If you guys have been watching, you kind of get the vibe. Okay, we're gonna do a lap, and then we're gonna switch over to auto sit, and we'll do a few laps and just kind of talk about what I'm feeling. Is it good? Is it mid? I'm pretty sure it's mid, but we're gonna see. All right, so we're gonna try to do a lap here and not suck. It's very possible I would suck. Also, boys, I've been grinding videos. Oh yeah, make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. I said that recently on a video. Oh my goodness, it'd make a huge difference. Like, it was like kind of a mid video too, and it had like way more subs. So yeah, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. But oh my gosh, as we get absolutely ripping here. Okay, so I want to see, my ghost up there is on an absolute burn air, and so I don't know that I'm going to be able to beat that time. In fact, I'm pretty confident I'm not going to, but we can still just get a decent lap here. Oh my gosh. Ooh, I was like leaned over like crazy right there. What I think is going to be an issue for me as I go a little wide is, I think when you're on auto sit, I think you lose that icon that you're standing or sitting. And I actually look at that quite a bit, especially in sections like that roller section where, oh my gosh, I almost went over the berm, where you're sitting and standing a lot. I'll look at it when I'm coming out of the section to make sure that I'm standing or sitting, whatever I want to be doing. So if I lose that, I'm a little nervous that I'm going to be mid-sickles, but that's fine. Interesting line choice from me right there. Not sure why I went all the way outside. You can double that, but I obviously did not. We're going to go outside here because I just like that outside. Except I didn't scrub that very well, so we're gonna jump over this. All right, so that was kind of a mid lap. It was a 46.9. I definitely could go much faster than that, but let's switch over to auto sit and do a few laps and see what we're feeling. Okay, so if you guys don't know where this is, it's in the settings underneath the simulation tab, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go right down automatic rider sit right there. All right, so we should be on it now. Oh, okay, I'm standing. So what we want to do is we're not gonna try and sit, okay? We're just gonna stay standing, and as you can see, look, he sits right there, and now he's back standing. All right, this is gonna be interesting. Now, I think you still can sit for like your scrubs and stuff. I still think it allows you to sit. Okay, this is interesting. Wait, I like don't have to think about it. Hold on. But okay, so I think, okay, I didn't mean to sit right there. It feels like it may be sitting a little bit earlier than I would like it to, because it's like as soon as you start to lean, it just starts to sit. And I don't know, does it just go from 100 to, if anyone knows this, let me know. Does it just go from like standing being 100% to 0 being completely sitting? Or is it progressive? Like, does my man squat? I would assume that he's not squatting. Yeah, like right here, I feel like I'm just completely sitting. That's really interesting. Let's see if we go through here. It's actually not so... Hold on, boys. It's not that bad. Okay, that... Oh, all right, well, that was weird. I just lost the rear end, but... What's interesting is, like, if there's a section where you're turning, though, and it's rough, I think it's really gonna hurt you. Like, really gonna hurt you. And in... You know, there are some tracks where the ruts are really close together. And, you know, bikes is kind of broken. And if you want to not hit your bars, you stand up, which doesn't make any sense because when you stand up, your bars don't go up. But it does help you, like, it helps the hitbox be a little bit taller, it feels like, at least. This track isn't a great representation of that because the ruts are pretty far apart. But I feel like on a track like High Point, this could be problematic in a lot of areas. And thinking back, I think, I don't know. Yeah. High Point, even Millville, there's some spots because you can't like force stand, I don't think. If I could somehow like if it was the other way around where you like could stay sitting and then you click the button to stand, maybe that would be better and then it would just auto sit, but you can't force stand. And I think on this track that's kind of just wide open, it doesn't really seem like that big of a deal, to be honest. But I think if we were to switch to Millville, I think it would be an issue. So let's switch to High Point, not Millville. All right, here we go. We're at Mount Morris or High Point. I got auto sit on, all right? Where auto sit is on, and I want to see how this does, especially in that back section. I should have clicked fourth there, but it's definitely a different kind of play style as well, where like you definitely need to get used to how it turns because he sits a lot earlier. At least for me, he sits a lot earlier than I'm used to, which means the bike is going to turn a lot sharper earlier. And I also feel like you got, oh, like see through there. I don't know. It's just kind of strange through there. The one thing I will say is it does seem like it takes out a little bit of the, like the user error, where because the sitting is progressive, it doesn't seem like it's, oh, okay. What I was trying to say is because the sitting is progressive, it seems like, you know, if I come into this section here and I sit too early, it's gonna be a bad day for me in the bumps. Whereas this, it still doesn't seem as efficient as just standing through this section, but it also doesn't seem as bad as if I'm sitting at the wrong time, if that makes sense. So it's kind of an interesting in between. Okay, this is kind of where I was curious on what it was going to be doing in this kind of stuff through here. Okay, so honestly, kind of good. What about through here? I mean, it's not so bad. I'm honestly kind of surprised here, boys. I don't think at a competitive level, I really don't think that this, I mean, I don't know. It's really not that bad. I was expecting this to be horrible and me to be like, Troy, what are you doing? It's really not as bad as I thought. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised here. I want to do some more laps. Yeah, it is. It does seem to sit a little early, especially because if you're trying to come in like that real wide and like arc into your rut, it sits a little early for me, and I feel like it kind of makes it a little bit more, like I definitely getting more movement in the bike because I'm sitting, and especially if there's like bumps, like it's a little awkward, but it's definitely not as bad as I thought it was going to be, boys. Like you could definitely, if you're on this and you're just playing casual, like I feel like this is fine, man. Like definitely fine. And it is like less you got to think about. If I could stay on the track, that would be absolutely ideal. You know, definitely less things you got to think about. So I feel like for a casual player, you know, if you're just getting on a couple hours, like an hour a day, you know, 2-3 times a week, and you're just trying to have fun on Walnut, Polita V2, you know, this seems totally fine. I think that you have less control over the bike. I mean, obviously you have less control because it's something completely out of your control. So from like a competitive level, I'm always team like just have as much control as possible. That way you can make the right decisions. I'm really good at going in that rut, by the way. I did this like 10,000 times in the actual pro race too, where I was just like beyond mid and missed that rut so many times. I don't know, it's gonna be such, oh, okay. I don't know, that was kind of weird. So that's the other thing, like if you're trying to scrub, like if you're coming up to a jump and you're leaning, trying to initiate like an early scrub, it's gonna sit. And something that you definitely lose with that, I think, is, well, I guess you can still sit. I was gonna say the ability to like sit early and get that rear end to come up, you know, because when you sit, the back tire comes up to the rider's butt. But because it's progressive, I think you lose that ability to kind of bunny hop over stuff, because he's like slowly sitting the more you lean. Like I definitely see, ooh, okay, you see how much I got kicked out right there? I think if I was standing, it's because I was already leaning. I think if I was standing there, I don't think that that happens. And I'm definitely not able, I don't feel like I'm able to go super fast, but being sitting in a lot of these spots is actually, it's really not that bad, man. I'm really surprised. I kind of want to switch back and see if I notice a difference. And you could still do those little sit stand scrubs. Yeah, this is not at all what I expected, to be honest. I thought this was gonna be like, bro, this is so bad. You know, like you're just getting yeeted everywhere. You can't turn. Let's try to go like, okay, well, that's just me. All right, let's switch off. All right, I switched off there. Let's try just doing a couple laps regular. But see, like, it would already start sitting like way back there, and I stand pretty late into that corner. And then so like here, this is something I stand pretty much until we're in that rut. And same thing there. I was already in that rut where if I had the auto sit on, it would have started leaning or sitting way early. Here's another section where I'm kind of waiting. See, it kind of kicked me there again, but I felt like I was in control more. See, okay, but that's a good example right there. I think, hold on, let's see if we can watch this back. I think I sat kind of at the wrong time. Okay, I sat right there. Now, the back end was coming up over the top of the jump, and when I sat, it sucked the bike up into my butt. And because of that, so I'm sitting here, and because of that, it pulled the rear end way up, and I wasn't able to turn. I think if I would have sat earlier or not sat at all, I don't think I crashed there. So that's really interesting. So that's what I was talking about earlier, where like the user error part of it, you lose a little bit of that, right? Like it's a little bit more consistent in some ways, but it's also going to be a little bit more like you're going to be restricted a little bit in other ways. It's kind of interesting. And so I think you really got to think like, what is, you know, okay, again there, like I think I sat at the wrong time. I think you got to kind of figure out what is more important to you, like consistency or having control over your bike. Yeah, I don't know. This is not all what I expected, boys. I think you should kind of mess with it. I mean, if you're a competitive player, you know, you're playing aerial and, you know, you're in the points, you're doing well. I don't know. I'd probably just stay on your settings, to be honest. But if you're new, trying to figure out, kind of get used to the gist of the game, it might be good for you to use this to learn, to be honest, because it's sitting and standing is one of those things that's kind of important. It makes a big difference on if you're going to suck early on or not. And I feel like this takes a little bit of that thinking out, or a lot of that thinking out for you, so that you can just focus on trying to get around the track. Because I know a lot of people, okay, so like this section, I don't know, I usually stand through that whole section, but I don't know. Same with here, I usually stand through this whole section. Oh! Yeah, anyway, this has been quite an interesting experiment, to be honest. Like I said, but you know, a couple times, this is not at all what I expected, and I really thought that this was just going to be an obvious don't use it. But you know, I'll eat my words a little bit here. I do think that there is a use case for this. I think, you know, I'll repeat myself one more time, but I think if you're a high level player, having control over your bike is better than, you know, not having to think about something. So, you know, especially these tracks, there's so many little spots where in the middle of a race, you might not be coming into the corner perfectly, and you know that you're going to hit your bars, and so you might need to be standing. And if you don't have it, you know, that you don't have that ability, you're probably going to crash. But, you know, is that worth it to you? I don't know. I think it's a pretty interesting thing. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe. I love you. We're on our way to 30K, boys. Yes, sir. And have a good day, and I'll see you next one.